The Team Never Quit podcast is sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union. You can get a Navy Federal auto loan and reward yourself with a brand new car. Applying is easy. You can do it on their mobile app, online, or by phone. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Team Never Quit podcast. Name's Andrew, here with Morgan and Marcus, doing this thing like we always do every single week. What's up, guys?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Morgan, you got some big news. You want to share? We'll let you share.
Want to share on our podcast?
You can share that. The news. Yeah.
I have officially announced for the 8th District of Texas congressional seat. So I am wanting to become our United States Congressman. Thank you.
Man, that's exciting.
You are going to be.
Yes, the next.
The 8th District. Now I was at SEAL Team 8 too. So
that's cool. It was meant to be.
I got a hat with an 8 on it.
Meant to be. Well, dudes, we got a great podcast guest in store. But before we get that, we got a Patreon question of the day. What is your proudest parent moment?
Matt, you go. Go ahead.
I don't think I've had one yet. Honestly,
what a great answer.
I got an 18-year-old.
Go with that too.
I got an 18-year-old, 16-year-old, and a 9-year-old girl, soon to be 9-year-old girl. And I guess as becoming a parent was a proud moment, but I'm still waiting for that mic drop of inspiration or education to put into these girls that will, I guess, they'll tell when I die that this is what my dad did for me.
I haven't had one yet. All right. So the other day we had one of the cousins got married at the ranch. All the family was out there, and the whole day was over. And we were packing up one of the cars for the aunts and uncles to leave. And one of the uncles leaned down. Axe was standing there. We were all kind of standing there. And I had turned around and was lifting up some other stuff to put in the car. And the uncle goes, Axe, he's like, you sharp as a tack. And he turns around under his breath. He goes, no, I'm sharp as an axe. And I turned around. I was like, what? My son's name is Axe. And I was like, what'd you say, boy? I was like, sharp as an axe, Dad. I was like, yes, you are. And then the other day we were coming from basketball camp and we're going to camp. I was like, son, hey, you want me to sit there and hang out and watch when you play? Because our father would sit and watch us. I don't know. I guess it kind of stirred us up. So he never came back much. He thought it made us nervous and whatnot. I was like, do you want me to sit there? He's like, I don't want you to get nervous. He's like, I'd like to have you there, Dad, because I'd like to do my best in front of you at all times. And I was like,
crying like a baby.
I turned around, walked off. I turned back around, yelled at him for something he didn't even do. Just to be cool. Oh man! I think for me, it was something simple the other day. My baby boy Lincoln, little bitty guy, and me and Gunner, my oldest, was in there, and the three of us were brushing our teeth. And Lincoln comes walking and grabs a toothbrush, and I was like, "Buddy, you need to go get your stool so he could reach to the faucet to turn the water on." He's like, "No, Daddy." Takes his toothbrush, reaches up as high as he can with a toothbrush, turns the water on with his toothbrush.
Oh, nice.
Puts the toothpaste on it, wets it down, and then turns it off. How you like me now?
Yeah, I got this. I got this.
We got a thinker.
Oh, man.
Hey, my little guy. Somebody call Elon up. He's ready. That's a good question.
Thank you guys so much for asking your Patreon question. If you want to ask Patreon questions to the guests, to the host, you can join us at patreon.com/teamneverquit. We got exclusive access to the show, some awesome swag, and all kinds of other cool stuff. We got a cool guest in store. Morgan, you actually brought this one to my attention. Matthew Long, 17-year veteran of the fire department, New York Fire Department, 9/11 survivor and author of The Long Run. But after a life-changing accident in 2005, Matthew has pushed his limits to achieve things that far surpass what any doctor said he would ever be able to do again. Matthew, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. We got on here, man versus bus winner.
Yeah, man versus bus winner.
We'll get into this in a little bit, man. But if you're going to go at it anyway, that's the way to do it, brother. When I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, we need to meet this guy. So I'm talking. So we're doing that. Mike Ross is doing Pops, aka Pops, is doing that 31 miles a day for 31 days for 31 heroes in May for the extortion guys. And myself and Andy and Kendall and Thornberry and Tide and everybody, all our brothers went out there and we were doing it at the ranch, just doing 10-mile loops over and over and over again. We got done. We're sitting by the pool, which I'm pretty much dog shit at this time. And Pops has got to get up and run again in the morning. We were talking about how the hell are you so tough? And he's like, hey, your name came up. I don't remember exactly what the spark was that brought Matt's name up. And he's like, you think you got to hear this story. And he starts going on about Matt background, the accident, and then the next phase post incident. And it was like, bullshit. And we called him up right there at the table, got on the phone with him. And now here we are. Like, but we have to have you. They told me about it. I was like, oh yeah, I got to hear this from him. So let's do this.
Yeah. Take us back.
Let's start a little before the bus, So about a year and a half before, I'm in my mid-30s, late to mid-30s, and I've always prided myself of being active and being engaged and stuff. And I was a little overweight, out of shape, complaining about the bad back kind of thing. And the crew that I was running with, one of my friends, we had this little trigger, my friend Noel. If we wanted to do something, it could be anything, but he or I would start with, "Are you scared?" And that, it's on. So
as soon as that comes out,
you don't know what he's going to ask you next. I'm not scared. I'm doing.
You just have to say yes.
So, yeah. So he's like, "Hey, let's do a triathlon and raise some money at the time. Get involved." I'm like, "All right, we're both single, living in the city." I'm like, "I'm in. I got to get a bike. I got to learn how to swim." I mean, I grew up on the ocean in Rockaway Beach. I can swim in the ocean, but I have to learn how to swim. I have to learn how to go for a mile straight or 2
right, because there's
straight.
A difference between what people say, "Oh, I know how to swim," and then swimming.
Yep, 100%. And I learned quickly. I remember the first swim practice we were doing with this group to get involved, and because we're going to do it right. So we got involved with this big group, and we're raising money for cancer. And I remember the first night at the pool. It had to be 8 lanes, 50-meter pool. Had to be about 150 of us on the deck, and the coaches are trying to gauge your experience. So they had the first lane fast, then it was medium, then it was another medium, then it was slow, then it was like, you need fucking help.
Remedial. And then there's the pool deck group, right? And they go back over in the kiddie pool. I start right here with the water wings. I've been in there.
So I said, all right. So I got like 12 years in the fire department right now. And I'm like, I played basketball in college. I'm just sizing people up on the deck. Like, I take that guy. I'm going to be faster than that girl. So I went into the first medium lane. Thought that was like center pool. I was good shape. 50 meters down, the coach was at the other end, hit me with a stick when I got to the wall. He goes,
You're in the way. I was doing too good. I'm doing too good. You're moving me up. You're moving me up. All right, cool. I was being modest.
He goes, we're not here to fight the water. Move to the first lane. You need some help. I'm like, Jesus.
Just didn't quit.
Got it done. So I did my first triathlon with this guy. I lost a little bit of weight, got back in good shape, and I got bit by the endurance bug. And that brings me to April of 2004. I did my first triathlon, and then I signed up for an Ironman the next year.
So it's a year in between from when you first jumped in the pool till when you were doing it?
To an Ironman.
Yeah. Wow.
I did 15 in between the Ironman, but they're like, no, you should wait. Don't jump. Like, I'm 37 years old. I don't have time to wait. We're going. And so I signed up for the Ironman. I got into phenomenal shape. I was probably back in college shape. And I was running fast. I qualified for the Boston Marathon. Everything was going right. So
people don't understand that when you qualify the Boston, you're running sub 330s, especially 315.
I had him sub 315.
Yeah. So you were running before that?
Just to stay in shape. If ever,
like the rest of us, right? Like the jogging after working out.
Yeah. Nothing serious. I remember asking one of the guys in the fire department, a lieutenant who was a really good runner, 3-hour marathon guy. And, little guy, he could just run, rabbit off. I said, hey, how do I get faster? He goes, run faster. And he walked away from me.
Well,
just
that's
kept
the
running
same
and
piece of
just
advice
like
I got from one of mine.
trimming the
How do
fat.
you run like that? He goes, I don't know, man. I can just run. But that doesn't help me.
It doesn't help me, right?
Because some people don't, they just can't get. My brother, and he runs with Goggins and all of them, and with Pops the other day. I was like, hey, man, is there a time when you're running that you kind of break through a threshold? Like they talk about that runner's high to where you want to keep doing it. Because before that, it's just like, I got to run. Just do your deal. Just get in shape. I'm going to do my miles so I can make sure I can run this distance. And then there's the guys who do this. And there is a transition, right? There is something that hits you that's like, I got to.
Yeah, most certainly.
All right.
100% that happens. And that happened to me because I was not that guy. And then I quickly became the guy. Not only was I going to 5Ks and 10Ks, but I was running to them.
Yeah.
Like Pops would go to the Boston Marathon and he'd run reverse.
Yeah.
In the morning and then run the race.
Right.
Yeah, what an
Idiot. I mean, that's a good tip. I know, right? What a waste of time, huh? that happens. There's a switch. It's like you're running, and all of a sudden it just comes in. You're like, oh, I got it.
Yeah, 100%. It happens.
That's what I tell people anything like that. Just keep running. It will happen. And when it does, you'll never look back.
Yeah.
And I got bit by the bug. So I did my first Ironman 2005, qualified for the Boston Marathon. Like I was saying, what could go wrong? Everything was just set up. I was feeling great. I was single, living in Manhattan. I owned 2 or 3 different bars or had percentage points in different bars and restaurants. And I was a firefighter.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
And then the transit authority went on strike. I was forced to ride my bike and I was not like hardcore like Goggins where he goes out no matter what. If it was cold and rainy, my bike had no rust on it.
Right.
I put it on the trainer and stay inside. So it was freezing out December 22nd, 2005. The city was shut down. So I was like, I got 1 day to work before Christmas vacation. I'll take my bike. I got 2 blocks. Boom. A private bus made a turn off 3rd Avenue that normally wouldn't have made and took me underneath.
All right.
Share a little.
I just got one question before we get into this whole. Now that I'm older, I always look back on the moments where when everything was going good, then I went out and I got into something and it happened like that. Were there any telltale signs before you got on the bike? Like I had a flat tire, something to prevent you from getting on the bike, or everything just went perfect? Like get your ass on the bike and go. Because that's a sign, right? I was like, it was supposed to happen to you so you could become this.
Nothing stopped me.
Yeah. Okay.
There was no obstacle, but yeah, you're right. This was supposed to happen to me.
Yeah. God's plan.
So you're cruising into work. The bus makes an illegal left turn.
Right-hand turn.
Illegal right-hand turn. Sucks you right up underneath the front of the bus, or to catch you like underneath the backside?
In between the wheels. The wheel didn't run over me. I was pulled under the chassis.
Okay. And it drug you for blocks.
No. That never happened.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe in the movie that'll happen.
Back to the bus barn it parked.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like knocking on the door. Hey,
under here.
Down here.
So, I mean, it hit you, drug you under.
So he may have moved a little bit because he was making a slow turn. But I would assume the bus driver thought he clipped the car or clipped the garbage pail from the corner. The bike and me became one. The bike cut me right in half.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that wrapped you up, right? You're right.
Yeah.
You were riding when you got hit.
Yeah. And so the bike frame cracked in half and the seat post ripped me apart, took it up to my sternum. My abdominal wall was out, femoral artery severed.
Ah.
My right leg, my doctor who did a lot of military stuff, from guys coming home, he said he's never seen anything like it. He said your right leg was no longer functionally attached to your body.
And
I still have.
Let's take a second to thank our sponsors over at Indeed. If you've never had to hire someone or fire someone or handle any of the HR business, it can be a royal pain in the butt if you don't have the right partner, if you don't know what you're doing. It can just be it's a sea of craziness. What you need, if you're the hiring expert for your company, what you really need is a short list of quality candidates, the people that are going to meet your needs, your requirements without the headache of dealing with people who just aren't a good fit. And you're going to need a hiring partner who's going to make your life easier. And that's where Indeed really shines. These guys are the job site that makes hiring as easy as 1, 2, 3. You can post, you can screen, you can interview all in their platform. As soon as you sponsor a post on Indeed, you're going to get a quality shortlist of candidates whose resumes are going to perfectly match your job description faster, which means you're going to pay only for the candidates that meet those must-have qualifications. You can even schedule complete video interviews in your Indeed dashboard, which just makes the hiring process so much easier. And they've got some incredible tools like the Indeed Instant Match, giving you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed fit your job description immediately. And Indeed skills tests that on average reduce hiring time by 27%. For the hiring experts out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. It can be really hard to find the perfect match, people that meet your requirements, just the stress of having to weed through all of those applications, all those resumes, just to find out someone's not a good fit. You don't have to do that when you're using Indeed's platform. You can choose from more than 130 skills tests. You can add those to your must-have requirements, so you're only going to pay for the applications that meet those requirements. Now, according to Talent Nest, Indeed delivers 4 times more hires than any of the other job sites combined. So if you're hiring someone, you need Indeed. You should check them out. You can get started right now. They're going to give you guys a free $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/TNQ. I know there's a lot of companies out there hiring right now. If you're looking for a job, if you're a hiring expert, Indeed is the place to go. You can get started right now. One more time, you're going to get a $75 credit at Indeed.com/TNQ. Indeed.com/TNQ. Offer valid through June 30th. Terms and conditions apply.
You said you were eviscerated? Like completely bowels out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got hooked up.
Keep
all right.
going. Keep going.
So, the biggest obstacle was
How'd they
getting me
get
out
you?
of the bus.
I was gonna say, how'd they get you out from underneath the bus?
The police, ESU workers were one of the first emergencies. Like the firehouse was right around the corner.
Thank
Right.
God. Thank God.
And I was in and out of consciousness. And the honestly, the last thing I remember is this firefighter Buckley. See, I where I lived in Midtown, I owned a couple bars, so I knew all the firemen, and the firemen knew me. It wasn't because I was some hero firefighter; they all knew me. They knew me because they knew where to get a beer on a discount on Patty's Day.
Equal respect.
That's important.
That's equal respect, brother.
So I remember specifically him taking my hood off because it was below 15 degrees. So my helmet came off, then they took my hat on, and he said, "Holy shit, it's Matty Long from 43 Truck." And that's when I went to sleep. And I say to people now, I said, that's when I knew I was in good hands. They knew who I was. They weren't going to let a brother go down.
Right.
And so what I was told from there is now Sergeant Kelly from Rescue 1 of ESU 1, not Rescue 1, ESU 1. He looked at him and said, "You know him? He's a fireman?" I said, "Yes." And he, instead of putting on the blue surgical glove and doing all the things to protect yourself, he just reached into my femoral artery and held it shut.
Shut the artery down. Yeah.
While they hijacked the bus and pulled me out.
Yeah.
I mean,
We gotta go.
Mic
Mic drop.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that, because it's not only okay. So you're cut from tip to tail, femoral bleed, which most people need to know. If you slice that femoral artery, it's a matter of less than a minute that you'll bleed out.
Oh man! And those things, it's like a rubber band. It's like a retract. I mean, the fact that he got to that's amazing. On top of everything,
And because once he grabbed a hold of it, there's no let it go. You got to hang on until you get to the dogs.
And most people, when they grum up on an accident, they'll look at your guts hanging out and all the blood and everything, bones broken. That doesn't mean anything. That stuff will keep going. It's pretty amazing. But those arteries are completely different. Once you tack one of them out,
the 200 and I always mess this number up. Let's see if brother knows because he's a medic. There's 211 bones in the body.
You got 200 and around 70 something when you're born. As you grow older, and the bones fuse together, it can go anywhere from 206 to 212, and then everyone's different.
And you broke 200, right? 203, 200, almost all of them.
They never gave me a bone count, but yeah, I broke some bones. Yeah. I mean, I had 43 surgeries in 5-month period.
That's
the biggest-
awesome.
You were talking about the blood loss, right? So in the first 10 or 11 hours, they gave me 68 units of blood. And he's like, my doc's like, you bled out 10 or 11 times. We just kept giving it to you because every time we look up at the monitor, your heartbeat was still going. 30, 28, 30, 28. He's like, this guy's not going to die.
You can't kill
You
this
you
dude.
did not have a head injury, correct?
No.
Because you had a helmet on, right?
Had a helmet on. I
See,
had a
thank you. I'm driving
Yep.
my point home as a brain scientist. Wear a helmet.
I had a open head cut, but no trauma, no brain trauma, thank God. Just everything else from here down.
Neck down. Yeah, we got that. Put that back to you. All right. So after they got to the hospital,
How long was that? That golden hour? They get you in and under?
Oh yeah. I was in. I was probably in the hospital within 40 minutes,
That's amazing.
and so I got really lucky. Like my doctor, my one doctor who's no longer with us, but I was really tight with him. We would go out afterwards, and I'm like, how do you do it? He's like, listen. He goes, you were the perfect situation. He goes, I hate to say it, but if you would have got hit by that bus 40 minutes later with rush hour kicking in, you're dead. He goes, you got hit at 5:30 in the morning. You got to the hospital by 6:10. Every surgical room that you were in, and you were in them all, was prepped for today's surgery. So the guy coming in for the colonoscopy, the woman coming in for something else, they all got pushed back, and you went boom, 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 boom. And every doctor took care of what they had to take care of. And then we just prayed.
Yeah. And the fact that it was so cold, that had to have helped a little bit, right?
I would imagine. I always thought, because I was wrapped up in spandex and all sorts of cycling apparel, I was like, hey, maybe this helped. And he was like, no, no.
Not that.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
cold air must. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
the way it
kind of
was
vasorestrictive. I wonder if that.
Yeah, I never asked him
like
that. I'll have to ask my trauma surgeon.
Like when
Slows
you,
everything
if
down.
you drown in salt water or
fresh
or chlorine water, it's better to drown in. Not you want to do this cold salt water. Don't do it, but that's the thing. It's a thing.
I've done it.
Yeah,
It's
done.
terrible, but you can make it. All right, go ahead.
So the long road to hoe. You kind of. How long were you in the hospital?
I was in the hospital total 5 months.
Coma or no?
About 4 to 5 weeks in a medically induced.
Medical dish, right? Okay. And
I was intubated. You could see the trach.
oh, they trached you.
Yeah, I was trached. I had a feeding tube for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, I was.
We got full bennies.
I had it all. I for a long time. I had a external fixator coming out my abdomen that was holding my pelvis. And I was just. That's how I laid in bed. It was I had a little shelf here. I was like, this is pretty cool.
Oh, dude.
External fixator on the chest, dude. That's
Yeah,
intense.
dude.
Yeah, my leg. I had one on my leg, and my abdomen that went into my abdomen and held my pelvis together.
So what was the final? Okay, this is what happened. Diagnoses. Broke. But they saved your leg, right?
Yeah, I didn't lose anything, thank God. My right leg has partial paralyzations up in the stabilizer muscles, the abductors, adductors. They're gone. I joke with everybody that I got one ass because my right glute is basically paralyzed, so it's just basically sagging down the back of my kneecap now.
Is that true?
It's not sagging to my kneecap, but it's. I don't have it. Like, yeah, I don't have. I remember when I met my wife and we went somewhere and she put a hand on my back and said, hey, do me a favor, touch the other side.
Use that other pocket.
Feel better.
All right. So you have mobility, but just not feeling in it? Like
no feeling and no. I can't stand on my right leg alone.
Okay,
I can stand all day on my left, but if I go to stand on my right, I would just fold at the hip.
Because we had a young lady on here and she can't feel any of her lower body. And she won she was on Dancing with the Stars.
She was on, yeah, but she ran the Boston too.
Yeah.
She lost all feeling from the waist down.
You just like no sensation at all.
No sensation.
Nothing.
She has
But she can just-
functionality.
It's
but
like
no
it was like her
sensation.
mind. She taught it to jump over. Normally you feel all that, but it can work without it.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, you picked up the perfect sport, running." Victoria Arlen's her name. She's good.
Oh,
Look her up. Yeah, good.
Okay, so they pulled you out of the. For the first 4 months, you just or 4 weeks, you just had to lay there. I mean, you didn't just healing. That's that healing factor. And then everyone was coming in your mind was like, hey, because I'm sure they were saying you're not going to be able to walk again, do all this again.
So you're in coma for, you said, for what? A month?
4 to 5 weeks in the coma. So they were telling my family this, getting my family prepared. And then when I woke up, and I remember my trauma surgeon coming in, and I'm like, all right. And I got hands on that fixator, and I'm like, when am I getting out of here? And the doctor's like, you got to slow down. I said, what do you mean I got to slow down? I said, I got to go home. I got things to do. And I didn't really realize how much was it connected to me. And he says, listen, you were run over by a bus, and
was it a big guys like you? The first question was it a big bus?
Yeah, you're going to be here quite a while. We joke in the fire department, truck and engine, there's always little internal rivalries, Yeah. And so all the guys in the truck are like, at least you got hit by a big bus. Come on, Bobby. Never let you hear the end of it.
At least it wasn't a Prius.
Yeah. And it didn't hit me. I hit it. Yeah. I ran over that damn thing.
Start taking it out from underneath.
Come on.
So he gave me that bad news, and that might have been the beginning of the mental struggles of what was really happening. And then I started to realize, like, wait a minute, I can't. What's that around my leg? Why can't I move my leg? And my right shoulder was shattered, and that was like in a machine that would help me go up and down, because they basically said if you don't move it, you're going to lose it. And I still don't have full range. That's as high as I can put it. I could throw it up there, but so I still got some issues with my shoulder and my right side.
That's because because you came around on you on that side, right?
So he came. I was on the right, boom, and I went down. So what I know exactly, because I saw a video of it. There was a surveillance video caught, and when the bus was coming to me, and I realized it finally, I just put my hand up and started, like, I banged the window, like, wah, boom, and then I was gone. So this shoulder took the ground.
Did that video make the news?
No, the video never was released. It was from a surveillance camera, so we kind of buried it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So talk about when they're, you kind of come into and the realization of what happened. They said that mental fight came on. I mean, is it just like despair, or was it always, you're a firefighter through 9/11, every athlete. With us, we kind of get hurt a lot. It's like, I'll heal up after this, and just Charlie Mike.
No, it wasn't. It was about a year and a half of some, dark thinking.
Yeah.
I lost my job, lost my career, something I really loved to do. I lost more than that too, because I was single. I went home for 2 years with a colostomy bag. I went home in a wheelchair. I was 122 pounds when I left the hospital. I remember when my therapist was like, all right, you're getting ready to exit. And therapy became like, she's like, okay, let's get you propped up with the walker in front of the mirror, and you could shave. And this is the first time, this is about 4.5 months in, this is the first time I saw my face.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, holy shit. And I was just, gone. And she's trying to teach me, to show me whether I can shave or not, with what I had. And I'm looking at me, she said, what's the matter? I said, my grandfather's 90. I look older than him.
We are sponsored by Audible. Hey guys, forget about last summer. It's all about this summer. We've been inside long enough. All right, grab some beach towels, stock the cooler with your favorite juice, your drinks, make your escape. It is time to celebrate the best season of the year like never before. With so many great stories and programs, Audible is the perfect summer partner. You've been thinking about checking out Marcus's service book and learning about Morgan's story, learning about Marcus's story after service. You guys have got to check that one out. Goggins has got a new book. Matt Long, who's our guest today, has got an incredible book called The Long Run. You guys can check all of those out. And now is the absolute best time to do it because Prime members are going to save 53% off your first 4 months. With Audible, you can listen to more of whatever you're into because Audible has it all. An unbeatable selection of audiobooks, tons of binge-worthy podcasts, and exclusive originals, all available to download or stream. Here's what you're going to get when you're an Audible member. You're going to choose from one title a month, like the latest bestsellers or hottest new release, yours to keep forever. But here's the best part. You're also going to get full access to Audible streaming library, the Plus catalog. You can discover your next podcast obsession, check that audiobook off your bucket list, or get lost in a world of original content from celebrity creators, best-selling authors, and leading experts, the kind of stuff you can't hear anywhere else. Stream all you want, as much as you want. You guys, Audible is the perfect companion for summer because no matter what you're getting into or what you're doing, you'll always have just the right thing to listen to at your fingertips. Perfect for road trips, lazy beach days, long bike rides, or just barbecuing in the backyard. And right now, for a limited time, Amazon Prime members, you guys can save 53% on 4 months of Audible. That's only $6.95 a month. And if you're not an Amazon Prime member, what are you waiting for? You guys know we get fast delivery. Go to Amazon and sign up so you can get this deal and so much more. Check out your favorite book. Check out Matt Long's book. Check out Marcus's book. Check out Goggins' book. Get more out of summer with Audible. To take advantage of this incredible limited time offer, you guys go to audible.com/TNQ. One more time. Get that deal. It's audible.com/ this week and every week, the Team Never Quit podcast, sponsored by our great friends over at Navy Federal Credit Union. These guys have been taking care of us for a long time. We are so grateful for that. If you guys didn't know, with the More Rewards credit card from Navy Federal Credit Union, you can earn 3 times the points at supermarkets, food delivery, and gas stations. Plus, you're going to get 1 point on everything else. Your rewards won't expire while your account is open, and you can redeem them for cash, travel, gift cards, and much more. Plus, the More Rewards card is contactless, which means you can make payments quickly and securely with just a tap of your card. And speaking of rewards, you can get yourself a Navy Federal auto loan and reward yourself with a brand new car or truck or motorcycle, whatever you've been looking for, all right? Applying is easy. You can do it on their mobile app, online, or by phone, and it is super fast. You can get a decision in seconds. And right now, guys, rates are as low as 1.79% APR. Plus, with Navy Federal's car buying service powered by TrueCar, you can shop, compare, and save on your next new or used car. So whether it's your first car, your dream car, Navy Federal can help you cruise into a...
And he was a good-looking 90-year-old.
Yeah, what's up? Of course.
But I didn't want to look 90 at 37.
Always positive.
So I remember that when I first saw myself in the mirror, I was like, "Holy shit!" And that's when everything started going like, "What is my life going to be like? You know, forget about what happened to me. What's going to happen? What am I going to do?"
Yeah.
And that was tough. That was a really tough challenge.
I always ask people this: where, just so I know people that in your extraordinary situation, where did you go to rehab? Who brought you out of the hole?
Yeah, I want to know that too. There had to be that kick.
Because
like,
a lot of people are lost
through this, man. I ain't sitting back.
You rallied back to the light.
It's like your teammates, the Lord, all that.
Listen, I have no military background. My dad was a Marine. But you guys know what it's like. And I know what it's like now because I was a firefighter, quasi-military, but the brotherhood, I don't think you could argue that the brotherhood bond is any
just
different.
Our fight's different. Who and what we fight is different. Other than that, that's the same lineup. Uniform's different. Yep. That's it. That's how it works.
So from the beginning, and I'm the first firefighter in my family. I have a couple of guys on Wall Street, a couple of guys here, 2 teachers, from the beginning, that side of my life brought them to another level. Like my parents, 5 months in the hospital, every night dinner was served from a different firehouse in the city.
Oh, man, that's so awesome. Thank you for saying that. I was wondering, but that is something that y'all do, take care of each other like that.
Every night. And they were driving my mom and dad on their own time to and from the hospital. There was no stress. I mean, I was there Christmas. I was there New Year's Eve. Like, oh my God, we usually have a nice spread on Christmas, family together. Oh, guess what? There was filet mignon, shrimp cocktail. It was going down.
Yeah.
It was being cleaned in the hospital sink. So that side of me up here was like, okay, like if I quit, or if I don't pull through, I let that team down.
Right?
Some external pressure.
That's one part of it. You know, I also have 8 brothers and sisters, and their lives went on hold for 5 months. Every night, there was a family member next to my bed, if not all. And sometimes I was a little bit of a jerk to them, and I was like, you know, like I was kind of stuck, and I didn't like someone behind me. And my older brother was always somehow winding that chair behind me. I'm going, what are you doing? What are you doing back there? I need everybody in front of me. I need to see everyone. So, but that's team number 2 that I couldn't let down. You know, then there's your mom and dad. My mom was the one who was really the pillar of strength. I always tell the story of that. But so back into the rehab itself, that was the mental side of, okay, who am I fighting for besides myself?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fighting for those who said Matt's not going to give up, who said Matt's going to make this. But then, so I did my rehab originally in the hospital that saved my life. I stayed there because I was comfortable. I knew I had more surgeries to come. So I was taken in and out of rehab a few times to go for more surgery. I had so much scar tissue. In fact, I just had a surgery a year and a half ago. I have so much scar tissue in my intestines that they just get tied up.
Yeah.
And so I'm almost 15 years out. My doctor was like, I was in and out of the hospital for 2018 7 times with intestinal blockages. And he goes, enough's enough. I got to go back in.
Yeah.
So, you know, took 2 months off. I just laid in bed. That's what he told me how to do. You know, don't risk any hernias and stuff like that. And that's one of the guys like us. And I hate to make that comparison to you guys, but the hardest thing is to do nothing.
Right. Just like, yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Almost like, give me something. Give me that 5-pound purple weight. And let me just do some wrist work. I got to do something. So I did that. And then once I started to put my mind into what I was actually doing and not go through the motion, I needed the next step. So I needed to get out of New York City. And I did, but the trigger for that, there was this homeless guy who was always around the corner from my house, and he was always outside the Starbucks. And I was going in with my 2 crutches to get my coffee. And I go, hey, big man. He goes, hey, man, you that fireman that got hit by the bus? And this is, you know, over a year later, I'm going, even the homeless guy knows who I am.
Right.
I said, I am. He goes, oh man, I prayed for you. I said, thank you very much, man. And I pray for you every day. And I just said, I got to get out of the city. And I found a place in Phoenix, Arizona, in Tempe, that I sent them all my information. I sent a couple of people in California and Arizona, warm weather states. I wanted to get out of the city during the winter. And I sent them all my injuries. I sent them all newspaper articles. And I said, I want to run again. And one team, 2 young guys, Mark and Kyle, and they wrote me back saying we would never tell anyone they couldn't run again. I moved out there in a week.
What was the name of their spot?
Well, I wish I could remember. Jesus. But Mark has since moved on from the rehab place. Derek, who owned the place, is going to be mad at me. But Kyle owns a place still in Chandler, Arizona called Triplex Training. So he was my personal trainer, and Mark was my therapist. And I moved out there sight unseen, captain in the fire department. I was nervous about getting on the plane because I still was I had to drive a handicapped vehicle. My legs were not really with me. And he flew out with me, Frank Carino. We went out and got an apartment, went to work 5 days a week. I would work out with them twice a day. I would swim at the pool, the apartment I had, get back into swimming. And I ran my first mile after living in Phoenix for 3 months.
I'm sure that everything they brought to bear, that nutrition, exercise, physiology, and massage therapy.
All you got to do is show up.
Yep, I had a massage therapist there in the place, Jenna. I signed her up. I was very fortunate to have insurance. I was very fortunate to, I was a successful business owner, so I had some money where I could do this. This is not something that everyone could do. And I was single. So, you know, when you're married and kids, you're like, okay, maybe I'm not going to spend this on me because I got to save it for them. But I was single. So I was like, all right, every dime in my bank went to get the apartment, to rent a car, to pay insurance, to pay for these guys.
It's almost like you throw yourself into that spot where you don't have time to think about it because you got to go do it. And when you're in there doing it, you're not thinking about it. You're kind of doing it, and that healing time doubles because you're not worried about what could go wrong or second guessing yourself. And when you have an amazing team, I have to go through the same thing still to this day. Every year I have to go down and do my physical therapy. And the team that puts me back together, it's like once I get in there, I just give everything to them. All you have to do is just show up. Our people are amazing. And there are people out there that no matter what you think's wrong with you or what you can't get done, there's somebody that's designed to help you get it done.
Yep. And on that side, it's the body. But the body is amazing of what it can do. Like I don't have that glute muscle or my hamstrings. But my right hamstring probably operates at like 30%. If I laid on my back, I can't do a hamstring curl with any weight, let alone my foot. And the body figures out a way to get it done.
Oh yeah, it wants
the other muscles are like, okay, relax. We're going to help out here. We're going to pitch in. And that's one thing I learned about the body, about being healthy. I'm like, you know what? You might not have a bad back. It's your body telling you to get the fuck up off the couch and lose the 20 pounds that's sitting in your belly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you ain't got a bad back, you got a big belly.
Yeah, being lazy.
Yeah.
It just that your story lends itself to that cohesive combining of modalities, focused efforts on getting someone better. It's such a short period. He and I both, again, broken backs, but a focused effort months later, not years or decades, months later, back up on step. But the mental game is paramount. Period.
Period. I had my pity parties. You know, I had them, and it was never why me. All right. This is what it was never why me. Like, why did this happen to me? It was, why did I live? That was my pity party. Why did I survive? You know, and I'm sure you have these thoughts too. You know, why am I the one who went home? Why did I survive? Why did I have to win over a 40,000 pound bus?
You're looking at it right now. We're talking about it.
Those answers are all still coming to me.
Yeah.
The longer I live my life, and I, you know, I got my bub sticker right here on my thing. Says I'm going to die young as late as possible.
Remember, we always heard, man, you don't want to show back. You don't want to show back up with what you got issued. You want to slide into the gates and being like, man, I lived everything I got. I only got one life, but if you live it right, once is enough. And when we get hurt, there's a reason why they say mind, body, and spirit. Right? So if you bust up your body, people are like, oh, my mind's broken down. Well, it automatically shuts down so your body can heal. Because if you still had that go, go, go mentality in your mind, you're trying to push your body. That's why kind of when you drug up and they dose us up, man, they pull our minds down, we'll go, and you keep breaking your body. And same thing, if you have a mental beat down, your body will feel depressed because it wants to stop so your mind can catch up. But then when you get those mind and body, your spirit comes back in. It's like the fuel. It's like, all right, man, I got something. I got dropped back in my race car. Let's do this. All right, my right blinker ain't working. That's okay. I got the left one. I got this thing over here. They'll know I'm, and it's kind of, it wants to fix itself to operate. And you're a prime living example of that, man.
Yeah, I'm a very lucky man. The teams all fell. My therapist, I'm still really tight with them. The three girls that helped me, Julie, Lorraine, and Ina. I remember when I would do something small, but in their eyes and their profession, it was big. Like I would get pissed. They're like, "Why aren't you happy? You just took 6 steps." I'm like, I just did an Ironman in 11 hours. I qualified for Boston. 6 steps isn't doing it for me.
Yeah, so talk about that. You have to throttle back. That's kind of one of the hardest parts with guys like us, especially as we get. I was watching this movie the other day called Paper Tigers. I don't know if anybody's seen it, man, but it's martial artists when they were young. They were good, badass, virile, and then they get older and they get kids and they kind of slow down, but they get in a situation where they need to apply their skill sets. And if you hadn't practiced it, your mind's ready to go, but your body can't keep up with it. And that's the hardest thing for us is shutting that down. It truly is, especially when you get hurt. Now, retiring is one kind of easing out of it's one thing, but man, as soon as you get snapped off the line, it's tough. Right?
Yeah. And just in the work aspect of it, when I didn't go back to I wanted to go back all the time to thank those guys. And I didn't like going back because I wanted to get on the truck. I wanted to drive the truck. I wanted to go back to my profession, do what I loved. And I don't really remember the moment in time that it clicked, but the truth of the matter is I'm 55 in 2 months. I get after it every day. And I could probably still do the job. But there's going to be an instance where there's an emergency, where someone's in harm's way, and I'm going to be slow because of my leg or because of my arm. And I don't want to live with that. So that somehow that thought triggered it and said, I'm okay with not being a fireman anymore.
Yeah. You have to come to that realization that it's not about you anymore. It's about the betterment of not only the fire department, but who you're going after. Because you're in the business of saving lives. And your ego has to step to the side in order to say, look, I can't get that done, and they're counting on me.
Or you've passed that. I mean, no one likes graduating school and having to get a job, right? I mean, but you always want to go back and hang out. And he's like, hey, not only can you do the job, you can probably do it better than them because you've been doing it. But I remember when we got hurt, the boss is like, hey, you guys are doing more now for the teams than you ever did when you were on the line. And you're like, wait, what does that mean?
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
I mean, what, I need to work out more? I don't even understand that. I don't even know what that means.
That bad?
Yeah. I was like, no,
my
eval
says I was doing great.
Yeah, you upgrade. You kind of graduate. So the younger guys coming in look to you. I mean, we look to you. What you're doing. It's a motivation.
I agree with you 100%. And I heard you talk about that. And I'm going to drop a little bomb right here for you. So I have to give a shout out to my guys at El Barrio's Bravest, Engine 53.
Oh, man. Oh, the boys
hey,
right there.
Hey, we know exactly who that is.
You didn't know that was my house, did you?
That was your house?
43 truck. Mike wore my patch.
I saw it on your arm, man. I didn't.
Dude,
really? That didn't get brought to my attention.
I know. I didn't want to.
Well, that's definitely a bomb, man. That's my wayward home, man. Every time before I was married, I'd go there, stay with you all the time. Now I got married, I got to stay in hotels instead of someone talking.
Oh, I've spent some time. Hey, there's some story. Me and a bunch of buddies went up there. We crashed in that house a few times. You guys, we were like, hey, where do you need to go to party? Well, go down the street. This that way. Instead, if you take a left out, you go into Spanish Harlem.
Yeah.
Right there.
If you go right, you're supposed to go where we're supposed to go. We bebopped the wrong way. London will start. I did not know that, man.
Yeah. So if I hadn't got hit by the bus, and you said, where do we go? You said, you just go with him.
Oh, you guys, I've been sleeping like a baby because I'm finally moved into the new house. And that, my friends, means I was finally able to unbox the ultimate sleeping machine, Chili Sleep. You guys know we love hearing remarkable stories of people who just don't quit, but unfortunately, even some of the strongest people we know give up when it comes to getting quality sleep, and that's just because it's a pain in the ass sometimes. We're busy trying to be our best, but we can't forget to fuel our body and brain with the power that only a great night's sleep can bring, and that is where Chili Sleep, the pioneers of the original temperature regulating mattress pad, that's where they just do wonders. Chili Sleep was scientifically engineered to mimic the natural temperature change your body demands to fall into a deep sleep. So if you've been tossing it, turning at night, if you've been just struggling to get the sleep you need, if you're feeling worn down, if you're feeling sleepy right now, if you're trying to just doze off while I'm talking about this, then it's probably because your brain and body need to reset and reconnect with their natural rhythm. And the best way to do that is by prioritizing your sleep climate. Temperature-controlled sleep is vital for restoring testosterone levels, repairing muscle after a hard day's work, and improving cognitive function. So you're always going to start your days feeling sharp, feeling alert, and whether you're a hot or cold sleeper, and no matter what size your bed, Chili Sleep has a solution for you. Hey, over here at Team Never Quit, we're getting our sleep, all right? That's because Morgan's got one of these, I've got one of these, Marcus has got one of these, and that's because they work. They are awesome. You're going to fall asleep faster, wake up without the grogginess that comes from sleeping on a regular mattress, and if you're looking for that extra layer of comfort, they also make the Chili blanket the only weighted blanket that can be paired with their sleep system for the ultimate sweat-free sleep. You guys know adversity doesn't care how you slept the night before, but Chili Sleep does. They've worked with frontline military heroes and first responders for years, and they are passionate about giving the gift of sleep to those that gave so much for our country. You can learn more about their dedicated military healthcare and first responders.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's awesome.
How
That
small of a-
figures.
How small of a
man.
world that we're united
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that again.
Yeah.
Mike's Lieutenant Murphy's friend Owen Callahan was.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He was a probie when I was in the truck. He was in the engine. He had a twin brother that was.
The cop. They switch. Those guys. We know those guys, man.
So that's how the relationship with 5343 came with Mike Murphy, and we have they put a beautiful wall memorial in there.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that plaque in the stairwell. Come back down, man.
And so when I got out of the hospital and finally started going back, I donated a whole bunch of thank you for them. I bought some fitness equipment, so they named the gym after me. So I go back like every 6 months to make sure they didn't change the name.
That is crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
That's small world. I still have all my.
Oh yeah. Took out a patch of rock
hang
that.
it up in the vault.
Man, that's I don't even know where to go with that.
I know. As soon as New York
Yep.
squares it away, we need to get back up there and visit, man. Is 103rd? Is that where that's at? Did I get that street name right? Is it 103rd?
102nd and 3rd.
Yeah. Oh man, we have fun with them guys. That's awesome.
It was a great house. It's still a great house, and I could tell you if we're going to go down the Firehouse Road. And the funny thing about me going to Phoenix is years before 9/11, they were trying this little pilot program where they were doing like a swap, and they would send a New York firefighter to Phoenix and a Phoenix firefighter to New York. So the guy who came over from Phoenix, he was a captain. They're not aligned. Everyone's different. They'll do a cleanup job and do the right thing, but everything's different. So the guy that came over from Phoenix was a captain, but here he was a firefighter.
Right.
Anyway, great guy. They're like, he's going to be with us for 6 months. I'm like, okay, great. So they're like, he's in tonight from the airport. Let's work it out. Let's show him New York City. No problem. No joke. Because I had the bars and I was fireman. Dave gets a taxi from the airport, shows up at 5343, drop his bags, quick hello, boom, limousine pulls up. And so his name, within 24 hours, went from Dave from Phoenix to Super Dave.
Oh, nice.
So we put him in a limousine, took him to Smith & Walensky Steakhouse, chow down steak, took him to my bars and restaurants. And one of my places was super popular at that time. I mean, lines to get in. And we pull up in the limo, boom. I said, Dave, take a walk up and down the line. He goes, yeah, those 3 girls. I said, okay, ladies, come on. Me, Dave, the girls, and a couple of firemen back right in. They're like, oh, this is awesome. I think Dave got lucky within 6 hours of being in New York City. So hence the name Super Dave.
Well, most people don't realize there's a difference between, like you said, firefighters in New York and firefighters everywhere else, the way y'all have to fight. It's just like fighting in different war zones, different AOs. If everyone in this country, if you don't have a friend in New York City as a firefighter, you're wrong. When we would go up there, man,
or a cop.
or a cop, to show, do you want to see that city? You just pal around with them. Because y'all know every inch of that place and all the places to go. And we don't even have the vocabulary to express how wonderful. Man, that was so much fun. So much fun. That y'all are the greatest experience up there. Truly.
No start.
Thank you.
So
they're some good people.
So what do we got now? Because you really just capitalized.
yeah,
on
you got us off
everything and
topic talking about them.
just took off. Yeah,
Man,
we do 2 hours.
talking
on
about. We're trying to
circle
be
back
serious
and
here, Matt. Come on.
because now it's like I won't say it never.
I can't believe you're at that house, man.
53.
That really blows me.
I
I
know.
don't mean to interrupt, dude. That just blows me away.
Because I've slept
I
in
did
the
that.
house.
I saw that when you raised your hand. I was like, oh man, look at that.
There it
can't be
is.
the same one, though. Yep, it is. Barrio's bravest,
every-
man.
Every tattoo should tell a story. It took me a long time to get this because I was plotting out my story, but it's very detailed, right? So there's an Ironman, obviously before my accident. There's a little running guy in there for before my accident, qualifying the Boston Marathon. There's my 9/11 2-star medal, which I lost in a fire. So they're telling me I might not be able to get it back. And so I said, screw it, I'll tattoo it to my arm. I don't need it on my uniform.
It won't wash off. Yep.
and then the grid is the bus running me over. And of course, I got the 43 patch right there. So,
hey man, you were talking about running Ironman. You know how you temper steel. You get it really hot, really cold, and beat the mess out of it. You're an Ironman now. Hey, that's no joke. A long iron, bro.
Titanium. Got a lot of that in me.
Oh,
as you should.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? I tell people they don't have adamantium, man, but we get dosed up with that titanium. I feel great with it. Fellow brother in the titanium.
So after the fact, like it's not even happened, but you never even look back because you're back into it full steam ahead.
Physically?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I never looked back. I definitely looked back but I needed to close the chapter on who I was. I didn't want my story to say, well, the bus, after he qualified Boston, after he did Ironman, the bus changed his direction in life. I wanted to go back and do a marathon. So within 3 years of the accident, I ran a marathon, but instead of 3 hours, I ran it in 7.5. And then a year after that, I went back to Lake Placid to do the Ironman.
I can't even do that.
Lake Placid Ironman.
Yeah, Lake Placid Ironman in 2009. And look, there's only two people they remember at the Ironman, the person who wins and the person who comes in last place. And I came in 16 hours, 58 minutes, and 6 seconds. Spot on, dead last.
Anchorman.
I've been last place in an ultra marathon before, and they knew who I was when I got there.
It's funny. Is like they sent Ironman sent a guy out, and with a little walkie-talkie and a GPS to kind of figure out if I was going to make it, because they had labeled me the everyday hero.
Boom.
And he comes out. It's like my old Jake. This is funny. It's about mile 18. It's pitch black in the backwoods of the Adirondacks. I got glow. The one thing you never want when you're an able-bodied athlete is the glow sticks on you. It's like, I'm gonna go with the glow sticks. And he goes, "Hey Matt, my name's Jake. I'm with Ironman." I'm like, "Hey Jake, if you're asking me to go faster, it ain't happening."
I don't need you here right now.
I was in a world of hurt, and he said, "Well, you're going to have to pick it up because I'm looking at the GPS and, you're not going to make that midnight cutoff." So I said, "Jake, you ever have a hero, have a guy go from hero to zero in 24 hours? And he said, "Nope." I said, "Tonight's not going to happen either." And I found another gear. And
it's amazing how people like that come up to you. They always hit you right when you're in a low. And the last thing you want to hear is somebody's like, "Hey, you need to pick it up a little bit." Right? I mean, it is miserable. Yeah. They never catch you in a high. They always catch you in the low.
That's when they're supposed to show up.
Oh, shit.
That's when those angels come. Well, yeah, that's what I know. In your mind, you're like, "Hey, bro, I'm having a hard enough time with this as it is.
No, just,
last thing I need is for you to come down here asking me to change my glow stick."
when I was still in the hospital, they would send firemen in and people who've been in traumatic injuries, and they're like, "You can do it." And I'm sitting there with my tray. I can do it. Yeah. How do you fucking know I can do it?
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, "I was hit by a bus. Were you hit by a bus?" And they're like, "No." I go, "Then you don't know if I can do it. Like, why you keep telling me I can do it?" But they were right, thank God.
Sure. That's the best part about having a crew like that, is they see things in us that we never can or anticipate until we get into those moments. And when you hear that, you're like, "Man, you don't know nothing." Like, "Yeah, we do. We know exactly what we're talking about." That's why we say it. Otherwise, that wouldn't be able to come out of their mouth.
This week and every week, the Team Never Quit podcast, sponsored by our great friends over at Navy Federal Credit Union. These guys have been taking care of us for a long time. We are so grateful for that. If you guys didn't know, with the More Rewards credit card from Navy Federal Credit Union, you can earn 3 times the points at supermarkets, food delivery, and gas stations. Plus, you're going to get 1 point on everything else. Your rewards won't expire while your account is open, and you can redeem them for cash, travel, gift cards, and much more. Plus, the More Rewards card is contactless, which means you can make payments quickly and securely with just a tap of your card. And speaking of rewards, you can get yourself a Navy Federal auto loan and reward yourself with a brand new car or truck or motorcycle, whatever you've been looking for. All right, applying is easy. You can do it on their mobile app, online, or by phone, and it is super fast. You can get a decision in seconds. And right now, guys, rates are as low as 1.5%. 4.79% APR. Plus, with Navy Federal's car buying service powered by TrueCar, you can shop, compare, and save on your next new or used car. So whether it's your first car, your dream car, Navy Federal can help you cruise into a...
I just have one question. We don't have to put this in there, but have you talked to the bus driver yet afterwards, going through all this? Tell him thanks for making you the warrior you are. Thanks for the hookup.
I've never spoken to him. He did come by when I was in really bad shape. My parents said it wasn't the time. And I have no grudges with him. And I hope to God he's heard my story. I hope he knows, because listen, I couldn't imagine what he felt like when he thought he hit a garbage can. He could just see two legs laying out of the bus, on the ground. And so I was like, look, this is an accident. He didn't mean to do it. So he needs to know that I'm okay. And I hope he's heard my story. I know his first name is Patrick. I don't forget his last name. It was written up in a story. But I hope he knows that I'm doing well. And,
man, you don't think that's a sign from God? Your name is Matthew John Wayne. You're at the same house as Michael Patrick Murphy. Right? I mean, put all that together. It tells its own story. I mean, here we are. You're motivating us, and like you can't believe, man. I'm sorry. I see things differently like that, as more of a blessing than a curse.
Definitely a blessing. No, I told my wife, I said they don't know.
Yeah, we did.
Because I said Andrew would have emailed me and told me.
Oh man, we'd have been all over that.
And I said, I need to go to Texas and do this in person.
Come on, man. I thought she's cut. We might have set that up. Have round two here. Yeah, or come down here. We got plenty of tries down here. I'll run one with you. Let's pick one out. I don't run. I'm the anchor man too, but I'll actually get out there and go with you if you come on.
Hold on, I'm going to go back to what you said.
I shouldn't have said that out loud. I'm going to run. Get myself.
My running days are over.
Oh, good. Well, I'll ride with you then.
I'll ride. Although, so I switched. So I always have to have something going on in my life physically, and a goal keeps my head clear. So after the Ironman, after everything, of all things, I'm like, God, I can't run anymore, because it puts. I can run 3 miles. I'm in bed for 3 days, because the way my gait, my upper body just ticks to the left. And so I started bike racing, of all things. And I show up at a bike race in New York City in Central Park, and some guy goes, "Hey, aren't you the guy?" So I have this big shock bite of a wound on my quad. And he's like, "Aren't you the guy hit by the bus?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the guy hit by the bus." He's like, "What are you doing here?" So I'm trying to bike race. So he goes, "Why aren't you biking with the adaptive athletes?" And I got pissed. Like, I'm not an adaptive athlete. And then the gun went off, and boom, 40 guys were gone, and I'm going, right in my maybe I'm an adaptive athlete.
That's funny. That's what I thought you were. That's why I'm here. That is how that came up. That is how. That's another. I think that was the trigger to how you came up, because our buddy Kendall lost his arm in a rollover, and he's moving into the tri space.
Okay.
And we were talking about getting him a bike, and that is how your name came up.
I built a bike for a guy who had both arms missing. How about that? He rode it across country.
That's awesome. You can't tell me, man, that would, bro, the way everything turned out for you.
I can make it. We can talk about it. And if he needs help, I can make connections with the right people to build the right bike for this guy. But I was down in Florida training, so I took my adaptive athlete thing. I said, I called up the U.S. Paralympic cycling team. I said, "Here's my injuries. Here's my permanent." He's like, "Yeah, you're a C3 cyclist." I'm like, "Sign me up. Where do I go?" So I went to Georgia for the national championships, and I didn't know anything about it. I should have done my research. But I signed up for the long course, like 36-mile race in Augusta, Georgia, and there was a time trial the next day. But I'm like, all right, do I bring my triathlon bike and time trial, or I bring my road bike and get out there with them? I brought my road bike. So they started all the C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, all men and women together. So there's like 50 people there. And I had no idea. There's no label on you that says C3. Like, there's my guy. I got to beat him.
Right. So
boom, we go. Next thing you know, we're sitting around and they're doing the award ceremony, and they call me up for first place. I'm like, holy shit. I won my category. I'm a national champion. And they stopped calling people. So I go over to the side before I go to the stage. I grab the guy. Hey, you just called someone up for the C3 long course championship? Yeah, there's only one guy in it, Matt Long. I go, that's me. Can you
Okay, I'll just put that together. All right, go ahead.
can I just take my medal? I don't want to go up there. I don't.
Or at least get somebody to come up there and stand on both sides of it.
Right.
He goes, you get up there. You're a national champion. I'm like, all right. So I took that. I'll take the national.
Damn right.
Hey.
At that moment, I asked the guys what I had to do to qualify for the London Olympics. And I started to train. And then I got hit by a Buick in Florida.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
All right. You got hit by a what again? A Buick.
I got hit by a Buick.
Oh.
In St. Petersburg, Florida. Broke my arm. And I started to wonder.
It wasn't Patrick driving, was it?
Dude, what's with you, man? You're like a magnet.
What? I don't get asked to play golf often. So me and my buddy Noel Flynn, the one who we have, are you scared? He came. I said, hey, would you come train with me? Because he was a good cyclist. He says, yeah, I'll come train. And he got hit too. Both of us got hit. He broke some ribs. I broke my arm.
Probably don't ride with you anymore then.
No, both of us kind of hung that one up.
Bro, do you have that tattooed across your back? Are you scared? Or on a shirt? That's your motto, right? It has to be. Dude, that's awesome. Are you scared? Because there's a pretty good chance we're going to get hit by a bus or a freaking Buick while we're driving down here.
Same thing.
That didn't make the book. I didn't talk about getting hit by the Buick. So the funny story is, it happens in front of a bar in St. Pete's Beach called Krabby Bill's. The bar empties out. And now the fire service has got it. And thank God I had a pair of fire department cyclone socks on. And I go to the guy they put me in the Stokes. They got the collar on me and I'm letting them do their thing. And I go, hey, buddy, I'm a New York City fireman. I said, can you do me a favor? He says, what do you need? I go, just take me. I have no idea where we're going, where we are. I said, just take me to a place you would take one of the brothers. So don't stick me somewhere. Take me to a good hospital. No problem. Took both of us. So I hear him. He goes like this. Now the crowd's out. And he sees a couple of guys in the crowd with FDNY T-shirts. So the paramedic says, hey, you fireman? I said, yeah. He goes, so is this guy. And he's like, really? What's his name? I can hear him there, stumbling drunk. Happy hours. Good hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, those are the best guys to get on you.
So he goes, what's your name? I said, Matt Long. And I'm like this, like, because I can't move my head. I'm looking, my eyes are trying to get all the way over there. Say, oh God, I don't know what you mean. The only guy here with me is in the other ambulance. And he goes, Matt Long. The guys yell, again? Oh, I didn't know them.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Where'd they take you?
They took me to some small little clinic, whatever, and they told me my arm wasn't broken. So I spent the rest of my time in Florida, came home, went to see my trauma surgeon. And I said, dude, I got some problem with my arm. I got hit by a Buick. He was like, what? I said, can you look at my arm? It's killing me. And he goes, because it's broken. He took an x-ray. He goes, where'd you go? I said, obviously nowhere good.
Yeah, because as soon as they knew you were going to live. That's why they started messing with you. Like, hey, don't take it. Because I did my hospital rotations at Bayfront and in Tampa General, and then half of our crew went down to St. Pete. So there's great hospitals down there. They just knew you were going to make it.
You just didn't make it to one.
Yeah, they're like, hey, it's Matt. You know he's going to make it. It's taking forever.
Matt, why don't you tell us where people can follow you, what you got going on, maybe kind of plug the book?
But yeah, the book is called The Long Run. It's on Amazon. It's cheap now. It's been out for a while. 43 long _ Matt on all the social media accounts. I have a website, mattlongspeaker.com. I travel, do some speaking, but this is it. I like doing stuff like this and shooting the shit. And we didn't even get into fire stories and stuff like that. So, but we may have to have a part two.
Part two.
Yeah,
we'll get you out here, man. Just like you said.
Yeah, you can come out here and hang out with us.
Yeah. So that's where I'm available to help. I started a foundation called I Will, and it was all about the mindset, because once I started thinking that I will get it back, that's when it happened. And I helped this guy, Hector, with no arms, built him a bike. He amazed me. So I would love to connect with you and Rousey or whoever and help with that guy with the, if he needs help with the
Yeah,
bike.
absolutely.
So just to wrap this up, man, I always love getting the wisdom from from guys who have been through a lot. Like if you could tell somebody who's going through some stuff right now, like if they've been hit by something, if they're down, and that moment when you're like, I don't know what would you tell them?
Well,
buy your book. We're gonna do that for you, bro. Don't worry about all that.
Listen, I sent you guys a copy.
We'll take care of that.
If you're not big readers, get the audio. But since you said it, I had to tell a funny story about the book. Let me tell one fire story.
Come on.
So, and I wasn't on duty. My wife's gonna be mad that I tell the story, but before I met her, I was in the city running around, the bars, single. I met this girl in one of my bars. We went out, had a good time. And next thing you know, we're in her 35-story condo complex in the city, I think on the 17th floor. We may or may not have lit some candles. And next thing you know, I wake up and I'm going, holy Christ, it's hot in here. And then we don't have a stitch of clothing on. And I'm hitting her with my hand going, oh, Christ, turn the air conditioner on. It's hot. And all of a sudden, I just wake up to the crackling. Her room is fully involved with fire. The wax from the candle.
Tearing it up, huh? I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Now, again, the fire.
We'll take that part out, man.
The 43 truck guys are going, truck.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wake up, get her out, get her roommates out, and I'm like, get me something to wear. So they give me like a pair of shorts or so. I'm wearing these shorts that I shouldn't be wearing. And the fire department comes, the local fire department, and this guy's nephew is in Bubs right now, in the Buds class right now, and he's actually in the 343 class. I think it's graduating or just graduated.
Okay.
So good numbers. I'm a number guy. So anyway, so Lieutenant Fowler comes in and he's grabbing my leg. Let's go. I'm smacking him. I'm like, laying low, but I'm smacking him in the helmet going, hey, it's good. The fire's in here. I know where it is. Come. I have the door shut. And he's looking at me. He's like, Maddie? I go, oh, Lou. It's me. He goes, oh, this is unbelievable. They get the line in. They start putting the fire out. And I'm laying in the hallway, soot, coughing up lung. The girls are all getting oxygen. And he goes, yeah, a lot of 7 to battalion. Go ahead. We got an off-duty member up here. Made 1, 2, 3 rescues like I'm written up. I'm going, no. He's like, oh, hold on a second, man. What's the matter? I go, no. He goes, where'd you come from? I go, he goes, another bedroom at least? I go, he goes, cancel that off-duty member.
Redirect.
It's great.
I wrote that story in the book, and my mother was giving these books out to all these priests and
Yeah.
And my sister goes, Mom, have you read the book? And she goes, no, I didn't read the book. He's my son. I lived it. She goes, go to page 88. She's calling up all the bishops. Can you please send the book back? Send the book. I don't know why he did this. I don't know why he's like that. Anyway.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we don't get you out here just to hear fire stories. Those are that's the best part about when we go to the house.
Especially that, 53.
We love it.
Where that is and just how that department rolls. Man, thanks so much for spending that morning with us, buddy.
It was, man, what an honor to have you on here.
I'm chomping on one more because you did ask me what I tell people, and I want to end it on a serious note.
Please.
And here's what I tell people is just 2 things. You have to let go of the anger. You have to let go of the anger. If you're angry, if I was angry with that bus driver and for what happened, I never would have been able to clear my head to overcome. And then that's the next thing is we don't overcome shit. Adversity is something you have to learn to live with.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys have been through what you've been through. Is that gone? Did you overcome that? I got hit by a bus, and every day I have issues going to the bathroom. I have issues walking. I have issues just whether I'm going to get up and do the right thing. And I live with it. When you learn to live with it and accept that adversity, you're going to be stronger and more powerful and more impactful than you can ever believe.
Wonderfully
That's what
said. Wonderfully said. Thank you.
Man. Thank you. What a privilege to have you on here, bro. Thank you so much.
Bro, we have got to get you out here.
Me and my wife would love to come out to Texas. We're gonna. That's easy. Hit the easy button.
The easy button. All right. All right.
Hopefully, come out and celebrate you getting elected.
All right. Done. We'll have,
All right, deal.
we'll have a,
Absolutely,
we'll have a watch
100%.
party and election party.
Boom.
Victory party. Great. Boom.
Hey,
All right.
thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the show. Let us know what you think. You can follow us on social media, teamneverquit.com/social. Subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. We've got some new gear in the shop, shop.teamneverquit.com.